Hey guys, this week I'm collabing with the amazingly talented Kat from Meow Kapow. This is a pretty unique art challenge, and we're going to start off with a little message from Kat herself. So as you can see, Kat and I challenged each other to make an art piece using 3 words that we had to sign to each other in American Sign Language. You may be wondering how we got to this idea, and the answer is that we started listing all sorts of different other interests and things we were passionate about outside of the art world, and we both realized we both really love sign language. A little backstory, and then we can talk about the art I'm making. For me, learning languages has always been a struggle. Learning something where most of the visuals end up being words and memorizing vocabulary was pretty difficult for me. I was taught Spanish in elementary school and then had 3 years of French in high school. Not much of either has stuck. I ended up taking French in high school because that and Spanish were the only 2 offered at the school I started at. I ended up quickly transferring to a different high school where many other languages were taught, but could not transfer out since we were already a month or so into the semester. While I never formally took ASL, I was exposed to quite a bit and had several deaf students in my classes. I got a little mesmerized with watching the interpreters in class and fell in love with how visually beautiful a language could be. From then on, I taught myself the alphabet and a few key sentences. It's been a while, and I'm sad to say I stopped learning new signs years back, but I have more recently been trying to learn a bit more. I think ASL was a lot easier for me to pick up since it is so visual and feels more emotional to me. As well, since you use so much more of your body to communicate, not just your hands. We all communicate with our bodies without even realizing it at times, and sign language seems to amplify this aspect of communication, which is really beautiful to me. Okay, so let's talk about this illustration, especially since it's pretty different than what I usually make. Kat gave me the words pineapple, chicken, and kitchen. When first brainstorming, I loved the idea of combining the pineapple with the chicken since, as many of you know, I'm pretty comfortable with the concept of combining animals with organic things. The word kitchen was the tricky one. I don't draw a ton of detailed backgrounds for characters, even though I would love to practice this more. I decided I would do just that for this piece and make the setting the main attraction with the words chicken and pineapple representing the quirky things that the owner of this kitchen loves. A pineapple and chicken themed kitchen. I came up with the concept while brainstorming in my own kitchen, looking out the little bright bay window we have above the sink that I adore, and I realized that every single house I have ever lived in has had the same sort of window above the sink, adorned with little knickknacks and plants on the shelf. This would be the perfect scene to help represent the sillier character I developed that has fully indulged in their odd collections. I tried to equally represent both the love of pineapples and chickens by adding little nods to each with the cup designs, cabinet knobs, and collector's plates. Did anyone else's family collect those? As far as the progress goes for this piece, I tried some newer to me techniques to get what I wanted for the atmosphere and to create depth in the painting. I actually used some tips I had learned from Biana Bova, another fantastic artist here on YouTube. Actually, this piece was really inspired by a particular video of hers on color theory that I will link below. All the way at the beginning of this video, you would have seen me put down a light wash of warm yellow over the entire paper and a bit of light blue on the edges as a sort of vignette. This served as an underpainting and to help unify the entire piece. I wanted to bring the viewer in with the use of these colors and make them stay by adding lots of little quirky details to find throughout the entire composition. Of course, I went above and beyond with the addition of plants and did get to combine the chicken with the pineapple as both a planter in the window and as a design on one of the collector's plates above the window. So this is one of my very first painted scenes or backgrounds, and I'm pretty happy with it. I would ideally like to practice more outdoorsy type backgrounds, as many of the characters I like painting would likely be more appropriately set outside, but this was a really fun practice piece for me. Similar to my most recent collaboration with Claire last Friday, I feel as though this prompt challenged me in new ways, but ultimately helped me build confidence in the work that I do and will help me reach some of my artistic goals. What are some of the art goals that you have, big or small? Leave them down below in the comments, and if you're interested in hearing more about my goals, let me know down there too. Thank you again so much to Kat for such a fun and unique challenge to work on. I am super excited to see what you have created with the words I signed for you. And by the way, I figured a ton of you guys already know Kat since she is so ridiculously talented, articulate, and hilarious, but if somehow you missed the memo, make sure to go check out her channel, like right now please. You can always come back to see the rest of my video, or not. The important thing is you go share some love on Kat's video. In fact, if you are heading to her channel from mine for the first time and like what you see, which you will, add a super secret comment under her video to confuse her. Let's make the comment, "Pineapple Clucks Unite," and then just add a ton of various hand emojis. And here at the end, as we quickly come back to this piece, I did also want to mention I did a little something different with the line work. I did use an ink pen for some of the bits that were a lot closer to the viewer, and then used pencil for the ones that were farther away, as to show sort of a depth of field and show a little bit more depth in the piece as a whole. I did end up using my Schmincke watercolor paints and B watercolor paper, 100% cotton watercolor paper, and everything is listed down below. And we are getting to the very end here, so again I wanted to thank you for watching. Make sure to not miss Kat's portion of this collaboration. If you liked this video and like these types of videos and talks and things like that, make sure to show me with a like on this video and subscribe to not miss anything from me. I do weekly videos and would love to see your screen name around more often. Here's the final piece. Thank you again so much to Kat, and I am so excited to see what you created. As always, I hope you have a creatively fulfilled day, and I will see you next time. Bye guys!